Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, May 29th, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is I pay attention to the signs from the universe. I think the universe is always talking to us. The universe is always directing us. And things go best when we listen, when we pay attention. So today, with strong air energy abounding as the moon moves into Libra, could get a little space cadet-y, could get a little airheady, but we can also harness the mind and pay attention to what is showing up for us. So, like my washing machine song. So today, like I said, we have the moon shifting into Libra, and this is preparing us. It's building to a full moon coming later this week, Saturday or Sunday, depending where you live. We're gonna have a full moon in Sagittarius. That's our big energy. Our most major energy this week is that. Although we will have June happening, and we will have Jupiter and the North Node aligning. I think at the later part of this week we're going to have that. So that's actually going to probably be with the full moon. So what came up with this full moon is being able to discern truth from the information. And I think that there are always signs that are trying to tell us. And sometimes we're not willing to listen. Sometimes we can get confused. And I think a lot of times, especially in this world right now, we can get into information overload. And I think the moon in Libra is trying to help us find a little balance in the information overload. The first connection that the moon in Libra is making is with Pluto. And I think what can go hand in hand with information overload is people pleasing. Like, oh, well, this guru, this person who I like to believe or who I want to please or who has an authority place in my life has said this, and so I'm gonna believe that, right? And that can go just, like I said, hand in hand. It's a weird offshoot of like people pleasing energy. Like, oh, because this person, I admire them, I have to believe them. With the moon in Libra connecting in a trine to Pluto, this is an opportunity to empower the vibes, to listen to the vibes, empower your center, empower your truth center, empower that there is a place within each of us that does know. And that can be kind of scary in this world, right? But empowering that energy. Now, anytime Pluto is taking its energy, there can be interesting things coming up. And the top of the cards I have today is the experiencing card, which is a card of lessons. So watch for the lessons around this, whether it's around a sign coming up. I will show you my sign that I have to pay attention to. So Joe is doing a lot better. He's been healing, and he just, right before recording, called me out. And he found this beautiful dead moth. And I looked up the meaning of dead moth and did not like it. It's like somebody close to you is going to die. I saw this moth, I think, right around the time Joe got sick. And I feel like this moth actually represents, I don't know, taking that death curse from him, because he came pretty close, but he stayed, and I feel like this moth took it, and I'm going to go bury this moth, give it back to the earth after this. But you know, the first thing I looked up was like, oh, somebody close to you is gonna die. And you know, I believe in signs. I believe a lot of things that are, you know, that are out there have a lot of truth in them, and I think there's a lot of things that are open to interpretation. This feels like a call to notice how close that brush was, right? It was close. It was very close. I think I stayed very calm through it, so you probably didn't realize how close it was and how awful it was, but it was bad. So this is the same thing. Where can you empower what your truth is? What feels centered and aligned for you? That's part of Pluto in Aquarius. Although it's retrograding out, it's going to be actually moving out in June 11th. It's going to be moving out of Pluto, or out of Aquarius, but still feeling into the vibes of things beyond what you want to hear and what you don't want to hear. What is the vibrational truth of things, and working to empower yourself to that vibrational truth rather than trying to make things harmonious outside of ourselves, trying to people please outside of ourselves. So that's our big lesson, I think, today. We also have the moon in Libra connecting to Mars. Mars in Leo, bringing in some fiery energy. Actually, moon in Libra and Mars in Leo, this energy actually feels like, okay, we've done the work, and now it's time to like preen in front of the mirror. The Leo agrees. I don't know if you heard that, but he just meowed about that. Maybe a little nourishing, maybe a little nurturing. After the lessons, then tend to yourself. Tend to a little of the care. It's another thing that I'm like, okay, really got to tend to myself now. I had that allergic reaction last week. It's like basically that my skin all of a sudden got like sunburn. And it's still a little reactive. It's not as much. But I'm like, this is like the trauma that I went through coming out. It has to come out at some point. It's starting. So the next card, like I said, Moon in Libra, where do you need to nourish yourself? Where do you need to find your balance in loving yourself and taking that action and loving yourself? Now, this could also be a little bit passion in relationships spiking up as the moon and Mars connect. This is a beautiful connection, and no harm in that, but just make sure that you are taking care of yourself in this. I have the slowing down card in these astro energies as well, and that is just feeling like as we build to the intensity of this full moon in fire sign, don't forget to ground and get connected, especially with all of this air over the next few days. Like I said, it can make us airheady, it can make us a little flighty, it can make us not as grounded. Take your time, connect in, and ground. The final card that I have for today is the existence card, Magician energy. So again, really strong mental vibes. And your mental energy has magic to it. So remember that. Again, especially in taking anybody's words or anything. What is true for you? What do you believe? That's important. What is true for you is important. It's not to say that everything out there doesn't have its place. We can always learn and expand and grow. We're here to do that. But what is true for you? Listening to that is so key. Remember that as we move through this week, and remember that your belief has magic to it. So, I like that message. That's it for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.